So today's video is going to be on the new Xcomp format that we now have in XMD, which replaces the old Smart pattern, which was SPD format. The new extension is .xcomp, and this adds a lot more functionality to the feature, to the function, and to the features, and manipulates things that so that we change them a little bit. Now, for all of you existing users that have a whole bunch of smart patterns made, don't fear, those all still work just fine in XMD, but you may want to over time make manipulations to those and change them to the new format due to a lot of new features that we could use within them. So we're going to start off with just quickly showing you how to create one just to start off. So in general, the solid goes on level 7. Now, if the only thing you have in the file is that solid, it will put it on level 7 for you automatically, right? So we're just going to quickly draw up just a cylinder, and we'll just kind of call it like a standoff or something like that. So let's do a cylinder here at the center, key in, we'll put it at 0, 0, 0, and you know, the size is not incredibly critical here. But let's see here, so let's go with a 1-inch radius, and we'll just go 10 inches high. Okay, all right, that's good enough. Okay, that gives us right. So there's a lot of different things you can do now with this particular solid. Obviously, we can do things like add our chamfers to the top and bottom if that's what we want. We can color code them with Key Creator's color coding features. So if I load up my particular color coding here real quick, you can create all your own color coding for what particular faces are good for. I also have one that's specific more for my my componentry. So in this case here, I'll usually use like a safety yellow for this. Right? Okay. And of course, if you check faces or anything like that, you'll be able to actually see that name of the face will be in the material name. Okay. All right, that's it for pretty much making that. And then what you do is you just go ahead and you kind of create the description, which we're just going to call this a standoff. And there's no vendor. It's going to be cold roll material, and you know, whatever your size is, 1 inch diameter by 10 long. Okay. And it will automatically populate that file name for you. You can still edit that, make changes and stuff on top of that. Okay. And then we can save it to our catalog. Okay, and you do that, and we'll just kind of just save it anywhere for now, because right. And as you can see right off the bat, you have all the 2D is pre-created. That just makes the 2D drawings in XMD run faster. Okay, so that's for kind of just quickly creating an Xcomp. Now the big difference for existing users is that we no longer are we no longer have the orientation sideways, right? So the orientation used to be something like this. We've changed that to be vertical, and so the bottom here would be your base point. So basically, when you're looking down at it, that will help you understand the orientation for placement of the component. It makes it much easier to consistently create your components to be consistently orientated, so that swapping them in, everything works out well. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is show some of the additional features that we have. So here we're going to take a Ready Vault, and we're going to create what we call pockets. So same idea. Level 7 gets the solid. You'll end up with all your 2D drawings. But on level 8, you can also create pockets. Now, if you're just going to have one pocket and you don't expect to have any others, you can just put it on level 8. If you want to have different pocket options, whether it be the shape of the pocket, the style of the pocket, maybe different face colors for different pockets for different customers, things like that, you can put them on the point levels underneath there, right? So for example, 8.1 is, you know, using my own color coding, right? Customer 1 now has their own color coding, which is this green here. Okay, so with that, and then we're going to do a customer 3, and just do it maybe a slightly different, just a modified pocket from it. Right, so we'll go ahead. Obviously, you use your customers' names or whatnot. Right, and so you know, maybe this particular customer doesn't want this pocket, this extra little bit that gives more room to get your fingers in there. Maybe they don't want that little bit, so we're going to go ahead and remove that. Okay, and maybe they just want that pocket to be more simplified, and maybe they even want it to hang out or whatever, things like whatever it is you wish to do. Okay, so that's it. So now it's a little bit different, and maybe this customer uses some completely different color. So I'm just going to randomly just pick a color. I'll use my vents for that, right? So that way, maybe that's their colors. The green is kind of more their critical face, and then their clearance is that. All right, so we have those three in there, and then we can go ahead and save this to a catalog, to the catalog, right? So we already have it here under our DMS stuff. So Ready Vault, we'll go ahead and save it. We'll just overwrite the existing one with this new one. Okay. All right, so now if we close that, what we want to be able to do now, obviously, is bring it into our design. So let's go ahead and bring it in. So we're going to go to our Ready Vault. Now I have a custom assembly of this, which is a future video, or a different, completely separate video. But this here also includes the screws for mounting that Ready Vault, right? So I'm going to use the custom assembly. That with the screws, everything is done all at once. Okay. And it will kind of look at how I had this created on a previous job, that like wherever I created that custom assembly, and it's putting it over there. Well, it kind of works out pretty good. That's top of mold, which is good. The only thing that I want to do now is just kind of rotate it 90, and we'll rotate it another 180. 180. Okay, that puts it in the right spot. We'll go ahead and place it. Okay. All right, so now you'll see that we don't currently have the pocket in there, and that was because I didn't have pocket checked off in my thing. So if you don't want it to be defaulted in there, you can do that, or you can go ahead and in the actual smart pattern, click that pocket so it's a defaulted item that gets put in. Okay. Now in this case here, you can choose between the different ones. So it automatically put in that first one, and maybe we want that one, or maybe I want that slightly different one. Okay, so whatever one I decide I want, I go ahead and say save and close. And now that pocket is automatically in there, and that pocket is no different than any other pockets for auto subtraction that we do in XMD. And that is how you use some of the new features in Xcomps.